Right, everybody's at home, everybody's got a lot of time on their hands. My name's Daniel, I'm a video producer. I make a lot of films on growing food, sustainable living, how to live off-grid. I've been sitting at home thinking, what shall I do? I know what I'll do. I'll make some films on how to grow food and sustainable living. So, over the next 8 weeks, we're going to be transforming my garden into an amazing vegetable patch. Do join us. Please share the information. It doesn't matter if you're experienced or inexperienced. Growing food's great. It's good for health. It's good for finances. It's good for the economy. It's good for our well-being. You know, a lot of people are going to be struggling at the moment. So the more people that can grow food, can get involved and do something like this, the better. Okay, so I've realised I've actually bought 2 packets of leeks. I've got loads of those. So some of these you can actually plant in a tray. Push those over a bit. Ready? Mix it all up nice with your hands. There you go. Try and keep the lumps out. Less lumps the better. It just means that the water feeds into the compost better. You get more of a contact with the seeds. So if you've got really sort of lumpy, stony soil and you put a seed next to a stone, the water might not get to the seed. It might not act in the right way. So, clean this up. Be a bit careful. This hasn't got holes in it. It is good to irrigate them. So with a seed tray like this, you just got to keep your eye on it a bit more and not overwater it. Probably want to give it a good soaking every couple of days at this time of year, March, April. But then when it gets hotter, probably every day. So at the moment you can see everything's quite wet. That will take a couple of days to dry out, but if it's really sunny for a couple of days, it will take 1 day to dry out. So this is a learning thing. You just need to, you know, think. I mean, lettuces don't like a lot of water. Some things don't mind it, but I know lettuces, you know, you've got to be careful not overwatering those. Right, push that down a bit more. Okay. Let's just soften that all down. Let's pat it down a bit. We can just temper it just a little bit, not too much. So then something like this. Okay, so we're going to get the leeks. Do the one that's already open. I do like leeks, so that will actually be a nice crop. You sprinkle. You can do this with salads as well. It's a great way of doing it. You sprinkle them. Tell you what, let's do half leek, half salad. How about that? So let's get rid of the put a line in the middle. Water first. But otherwise, look, if you water there now, you're gonna knock all the water's gonna knock all the seeds everywhere. So you get your soil nice and settled, nice and damp, and it means the first couple of days, as soon as the seed becomes damp, it starts to sprout, or should sprout, he says, famous last words. See there, you can see it just knocks. Right, okay. Half lettuce, half leek. Let's see how this goes. So about 3 fell, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 12, 15, 18. Okay, so let's just get it. Let's get a nice even spread. Okay. Right, there's, you know, there's quite a lot there. Now I just sprinkle a little bit over the top. Ideally, you know, that's like a 1 mil. Tap that down a little bit. There we go. So that's a thin layer all the way over the top. Water again, very lightly. As I said, you don't need a watering can. You can do it just with a plastic bottle. Put some holes in the top. Nice and gentle. Okay, come on in, seeds. Grow for me, leeks. These be amazing. These about October time. November time, they'll still be in the ground. You can pull them up and you've just got fresh food. during the hungry gap, which is also really important. As I said, I'm going to be putting loads of other video links and loads of other stuff below. So if you are interested in what we're talking about, there's going to be, you know, links to Resurgence magazine, to Transition Towns, to meditations, because I think people, you know, we need support in these times. Okay, for our second half, I'm going to do nice corn salad. Attractive, compact rosettes of great tasting rounded leaves, easy to grow, and glossy wide leaves provide generous crops that will even be picked in the winter months. January to October. That's when you sow it and where in prepared seed beds, housed so thinly in rows 20 centimetres apart. So that's the rows. Usually you can do them in rows, you see, and then you can pluck them out, but we're going to do just a nice big patch here. So we're buying our seeds, yeah? You can propagate seeds. When vegetables go to fruit, obviously there are seeds and you can dry them out. That is a great process. It's very sustainable. It means that you don't rely on anybody else for your feed. Can you see that? So nice and spread out. You know, a few of them might gather. Okay, let's keep this organised. I've got stuff here. Right, there we go. Keep my leeks in my leek packet. I was in a big trouble. Right, couple more. It's fiddly, mate, fiddly. There we go. And even if it is a bit more, you know, you can. I used to grow micro greens years ago, and they would, you know, they'd be growing. They're small, so even if you know, some of these are small, you can still pick them to eat. You don't need to wait until they're all fully grown. And you can have a really, you know, we could have 4 times as many seeds on here now, and they'd all be quite compact. They wouldn't grow as big, but you can still harvest them. So it really is up to you how you do it. This is just another way of doing it where you don't need seed module trays. You can just have your own tray. You can make do with whatever you've got. The compost and the seeds are the most important thing. The trays, you know, you can adapt those from lots of other things. Right, cover that up. Sprinkle a little bit on there, nice and lightly. Too much in my hands. And then let me just take out the stone. Okay, cool. Right, just label it now before we forget. It's very easy. Start, you know, right, do that one. So, leeks in that one, corn salad in that one. So I've got just a Sharpie, leeks. This is when I get really embarrassed because my spelling is diabolical. And corn salad. It's always nice to try and get the varieties right. They're plucked in there. Give that a quick water. See, a few of those are showing just a tiny bit, but let's just water it and see what happens. Yeah, see, a few more have just come to the top there. See, a few more have as well. It's all right, that's fine. I mean, they'll still grow, they'll still sprout. The idea is here, they sprout, some of them are stuck together. I will just get that and just poke some of these down a bit. Oh, I'll tell you what, look, there we go. Poke them down a bit. The good thing about spread sowing, is that, you know, you do a lot more than you need. You do use a lot more seed, but it means that, you know, you always get a lot coming up. Some of them might not come up, only probably half of them will come up. Some of them are too deep, some are too shallow, some might be too dry. And that's the marvellous thing about growing food and gardening, is that you do have to experiment. Every time you do something, you do it a little bit differently. So some people might, you know, they'll plant 2 seeds, the same type of seed, leave one by a hot window and water it a lot, and another one in a colder place, just to see, because you just never know, do you, what happens. Nature is a funny thing. Alright, okay, I think we are done with our sowing. I'm going to quickly show you what we've got. Tripod, guerrilla filmmaking style, we love it. Okay, so today we started with our lettuce. Nice, very small seed. Leeks, extremely small little black seed. I'm a little bit worried about those ones because they, yeah, just such a small seed means it's probably more difficult to actually grow. Then we went with the tomatoes, and then our cabbages, onions. We've got our salads here, we've got our leeks here, salads there, couple of seeds showing. Might just sprinkle a little bit more on top of that. So anyway, that's a great way to get started. As if you saw our last video on weeding, we've also got some sweet corn, purple sprouting. There's a nice array of food here. We're going to prepare our beds in the next session. We're going to get some potatoes going. We're going to plant some onions as well. I think I'll let the bed settle for a few days, give it a water, see if any weeds come up, and then in a week's time we'll start planting some potatoes. Do subscribe, tell your friends. Growing food is amazing.